Dr. Cuba Gooding Jr., is finally exposing what was happening on Epstein's Little St. James Island. Emails involving code words, reports of and witness reports prove that Jimenez and was part of what was going on at both Zorro Ranch and Epstein's Island. New documents released by the FBI reveal everything.
This week, new accusations coming to light against Cuba Gooding Jr. The allegations come from a former producer for Combs, Rodney Jones. Now, it originally just listed Diddy as far as assault in, but now Gooding is listed as a co-defendant, accusing him of assault as well. According to court filings, the alleged assault happened on a yacht rented by Combs that went to the U.S. Virgin Islands last January.
The U.S. Virgin Islands are the same place that Epstein was taking his victims. Multiple witness statements and emails show that victims were being dropped and taken to the island on boats and helicopters. Once the victims would wake up, their passports would be taken away and they would be trapped on the island. The flight crew knew exactly what was happening to the being taken to the island, but they did nothing. There are even reports that the staff on the airport had been paid off to let the victims board the plane. Satellite images along with pictures released by the Department of Justice show that this island was built to make it impossible to escape. Shockingly, Epstein had a fully equipped dentist's office on Little St. James decorated with the creepiest 3D faces, and his last girlfriend, Karina Kuliak, just happens to be a dentist. So, why did Epstein have a dental office in the middle of nowhere? Well, according to one survivor, victims had their front teeth pulled so they couldn't bite back during sex.
Whose face that is on the wall or the walls, which is creepy. Can you imagine going into the dentist's office and that's it?
What is that?
That's the dentist's office at Epstein Island.
And do you know what Jeffrey Epstein's last girlfriend went on to do as a profession?
What?
A dentist.
Oh, isn't that weird?
The last woman he dated before he died was a woman who went to dental school, practiced dentistry, and they have a dental... And there were reports that they were pulling the teeth out of the children. They were calling them blowholes. That was according to one report of a survivor. In the files, they pulled the teeth out so that they couldn't bite back during the sex.
Think about that. Think about that. You have a dentist's office to pull the teeth out of kids so they don't bite you and fight back. And then 2 for 1. When you, God forbid, these freaking poor kids, there's no evidence of their teeth. Because when people die, Pat, it's not the skull's nothing. It's your teeth. The dental records is how they identify you. So, and I know, and it's crazy, the more and more you're hearing, the trap doors, all the parties, all the people, and all these names, that's the only messed up thing is they redacted everybody's name. Why can't we see who these people were?
Every time you think the Epstein situation can't get worse, something even more horrifying comes out. An analysis of hundreds of thousands of emails released by the Department of Justice shows that Epstein was using code words to talk to his elite friends. These code words include food items such as beef jerky, pizza, ice cream, grape, sushi, and white tuna. The context in which these words are being used doesn't make any sense. For example, in one email, Epstein's urologist, who's just prescribed him erectile dysfunction drugs, says, "Take the pills and then meet me for pizza and grape soda."
And how dare you threaten me and call me names? I mean, I'm not getting paid for this. I've stayed out of it. I'm just getting too mad watching this.
So even before the Epstein files got released, back when the Podesta emails were released and the original Pizzagate theory was born, and if you look through some of those Podesta emails, look, they're clearly talking in code. Now, what is the code? People are speculating that it was about children. Now, I have absolutely no reason to believe that. But they're not planning pizza parties. You know what I mean? Like, they're speaking in code.
When Epstein's urologist, who's just prescribed him erectile dysfunction drugs, says, "Take the pills and then meet me for pizza and grape soda," that's in the Epstein files. Maybe it has nothing to do with sex. Maybe they're actually, you get wicked hungry after you take a boner pill. I don't know. But the fact that nobody cares to find out or even interview the urologist, just bring him in and say, "Hey, what is this?"
That's right. And I felt the same way back then.
Who drinks grape soda? What are you even talking about? There's no white person in America who drinks grape soda. Stop.
Some investigative journalists have linked the code words Epstein was using to Jimenez's and the amount of beef jerky, its recipe, and especially the way Epstein and his friends talk about it as a person are horrifying. There are even some references Tom directly. Apparently, Epstein was in contact with a restaurant called the Cannibal. the cannibalism, the babies, the code words.
There are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates could maybe even be engaging in some sort of consumption. Is that human consumption? Are there code words? There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant called the Cannibal where the owner is listed in some of these documents. Now, that isn't a restaurant that is just proclaiming to serve human meat by any means. But some of this just, it seems that there's a lot of conspiracies that make you wonder. And I saw more emails about Twitter, and these coded conversations still have a very clear topic that was big. It was a big driver for them. And these were sick people doing very, very sick things.
There is even a reported email from 2012 in which Jeffrey Epstein contacted Chef Francis Darby asking about how to properly handle frozen white tuna. And this message has drawn intense online speculation, with some people linking the phrasing to human remains, especially considering Darby's previous connection to the Cannibal, a meat-focused eatery that operated in both New York and Los Angeles, which has only added to the ongoing theories and raised further questions about the true meaning behind these unusual exchanges. And sauce.
Mataron a Murillo, a la gente, le dijeron, a quién mataron, a la reina de Escocia, a la reina de Inglaterra, a las princesas y de Disneylandia, mataron a mis hijos, también por ese, cabrón, ¿qué? Aquí va a decir mi madre, ¿cómo están locos? Mataron a mucha gente, muere, sácame de humano. ¡Lárgate! ¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo me acabo de enterar de nada. Que había, o sea, no sé si la tosí, pero que habían comido humanos. ¡Humanos! ¡Fuera la carne humana! ¡Me llevan! A mí no me llevan hasta que eso no se aclare. A mí no me llevan. Ustedes estuvieron ahí. Fueron a sacar una copia para que me intentaran. No, cuéntame. Seguro yo, cuéntame. Cuéntame.
Luis, esta es la triste realidad de la joven Gabriela Rico Jimenez, quien, como observamos en unos momentos, intentó también agredir al elemento policíaco que logró someterla esta madrugada.
Reports claiming that some of Epstein's clients were involved in alleged acts of consumption have been circulating for years. And back in 2009, another alleged victim, a young model named Gabriella Jimenez, reportedly broke down outside a hotel party that was said to be organized by individuals linked to Epstein, where she was seen in distress and screaming that she had witnessed something deeply horrifying involving powerful guests, an incident that has continued to raise questions and fuel speculation.
I'm going to put a little on your hand.
I'll do that. Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're going to rub it right in.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human...
Look, the wrinkles has just disappeared. I can't even ball my hand up.
So it's made from human foreskin. I'm sorry, Steve.
You'd have sat up here and squirted somebody's private parts in my damn hair. What you laughing at?
I'm sorry.
This your last time on the show. This your last time. Not coming up in here.
At the same time, certain sources have been pointing toward claims that some of Epstein's alleged associates were experimenting with human remains and even cells taken from babies in an attempt to maintain youth, a theory that has repeatedly surfaced in discussions involving high-profile figures, while some critics argue that mainstream media and entertainment have slowly tried to normalize these kinds of ideas over the years, pointing to moments in popular television where similar themes appear in a more casual or comedic setting. And in one episode of The Steve Harvey Show, for example, a guest is seen applying what is described as an Oprah-endorsed anti-aging product, a scene that some believe subtly reflects these much darker rumors circulating behind the scenes.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Ellen DeGeneres has also been pulled into similar accusations, as rumors suggesting her involvement in an alleged elite circle and claims about the use of stem cells taken from humans have been circulating online for quite some time, with some reports even trying to connect changes in her appearance to the idea that she may no longer be receiving such treatments following the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. While in one widely discussed episode featuring Sandra Bullock, both Ellen DeGeneres and Sandra Bullock were said to openly joke about using adrenochrome supposedly sourced from children, a moment that has since been heavily debated and interpreted in very different.
We have some of these emails up right here. And again, like, you have to think of these things, as you put it, Chris, as if you're in like a court of law and what you can prove and what you can't.
Right.
And right now, if you just looked at these alone, they don't definitively prove anything. But can we pull up that email you had up, Thief?
Yeah.
The one that you had the perfect one up about the recipe. Yeah. Okay, go to the top one right there. So this one is called Jerky Recipe in the subject. It's from December 21st, 2012. It says, "Hi, Steve Hansen, no relation. On Jeffrey's Island is requesting the latest beef jerky recipe as He has asked her to try and make some. He says the last batch that you made tasted different, and I think he likes it as he would like to attempt it. Would it be possible to forward us the recipe? Thank you, Steve." This is the response. "But I've now been told it is the old way Francis was doing it he likes best and not the latest batch. So on LSJ on Little St. James is going to try and do it that way. I am in Europe, but with him on the island if you need to call to liaise about getting anything down." So obviously, the number one point is they're not talking about real jerky here. We know that. It's code for something.
Right.
And when you go through some of the other emails that talk about how to refrigerate it, where to store it, how many pounds it is and things like that, your brain goes to some of that Peter Nygaard type world type things.
Absolutely. Now I've seen these, and I have access to the the index emails as well. It's and I try to go through them when time allows. But yeah, I would guess, if I were a betting man, that they're not talking about actual beef jerky. Not known to be an island treat. I mean, people eat a lot of fish down on the islands, and I'm sure other stuff too. But I mean, to me, this is code for something more nefarious.
The only difference many people point out between these elites and Epstein is the way they were allegedly using the bodies of others for their own benefit, with figures like Steve Harvey and Ellen DeGeneres rumored to be doing it in an effort to stay young, while Epstein was claimed to be using it for consumption. And in one particularly disturbing email, Epstein was even said to describe the exact recipe he preferred for making beef jerky, a detail that has only added to the growing speculation surrounding his communications.
Sometimes we don't talk enough about what these accusers, what these alleged victims went through. So let me read you from these, again, what appear to be diary entries. "Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Don't speak, she doesn't talk. I can't stop shaking and it's been a week. A decision was made, but I can't tell Jeffrey. These things happen. Why didn't I close my eyes fast enough? The doctor was different again, I think from Israel. He had kind eyes, but didn't speak directly to me. This was different. A shot, and those rod-like things had a hook and so much pain. Ghislaine said to push all the pain away. I don't understand. Blood and water all over the bed, and she was right. Like a feeling when your tummy hurts and you have to push. She said to close my eyes and put her hands over my eyes, but I didn't close them because of these tiny cries. I am so lost. I saw between her fingers this tiny head and body in the doctor's hands. It reached its tiny arm up and had a tiny foot. I closed my eyes and no more cries. And when you go to page 20 of this particular packet, chillingly, there is even a picture of a sonogram on a page with the words, "She is gone and she won't be coming back." And next to what appears to be a poem entitled Child, you have passages such as, "Your clear eye is the one absolutely beautiful thing. I want to fill it with color and ducks." Now, we don't know for sure who this person is. We don't know if this claim is real. We don't know if this sonogram is the baby the person mentions. And also, we can't confirm whether any charges or investigations were launched because of this specific account or accounts. But it seems the allegation is clear, right? That she was impregnated, and as I'll get into, either by Jeffrey Epstein, or maybe she was a surrogate of some kind, but the baby was taken away. And what is interesting when we talk about her credibility, at least to me, is the apparent specificity of detail and acknowledging certain personal details about Epstein.
At the same time, reports about possible bodies being buried on Epstein's Zorro ranch in New Mexico are also under investigation, as state authorities have begun searching the property for the remains of 2 victims who were allegedly killed, with claims from the Daily Mail stating that the search was triggered by an email in which a former staff member said they had information about 2 victims being buried outside the ranch, and the message itself reportedly read that somewhere in the hills near Zorro Ranch 2 foreign girls were buried on the orders of Jeffrey and Madam G, which has only intensified scrutiny as the property is now being examined more closely, while at the same time a number of alleged victims have come forward with accounts claiming they were drugged, had organs removed from their bodies, and later regained consciousness in an unfamiliar and disturbing condition, further adding to the already serious and unsettling allegations surrounding the case.
New Mexico has begun to reopen a criminal investigation at Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, which was one of the many properties in which Jeffrey Epstein committed acts of sexual abuse against minors, both girls and boys. We know that there was not only criminal allegations brought to the FBI and DOJ, but there was also a civil suit involving allegation against Jeffrey Epstein at the ranch. Mr. Indictment, who is in the room being deposed right now, managed the ranch properties, and I asked a number of questions about what happened at Zorro Ranch. And I will say this, although I can't speak to what was specifically on the record, I was told today by Mr. Indictment's attorneys that they were not even aware that the U.S. Department of Justice asked to drop New Mexico's case against Jeffrey Epstein. And so whether that is true, we cannot verify it, but all of this points to the fact that nobody is talking, nobody is telling the truth, nobody is helping us get real answers, and so the cover-up continues.
The most disturbing part is that if these claims hold any truth, some of the bodies may never be recovered, as emails linked to Jeffrey Epstein reportedly show him purchasing large amounts of sulfuric acid just days after his indictment, which has led to speculation that he intended to use the substance to destroy evidence that could connect him to his alleged crimes. And while officials have not publicly confirmed what kind of evidence he may have been trying to eliminate, ongoing rumors suggest that it could have involved human remains, a possibility that has only deepened the concern surrounding the case.
Here's one of the craziest ones. The day he was indicted in 2018, the very next day he ordered 330 gallons of sulfuric acid.
What?
Yes. He ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be delivered to the island. And so there's a lot of people online saying, oh, that was probably for his desalination plant. That's probably like a regular thing they need to order. So then someone else did a deep dive and said, no, this is the first time this was ever ordered.
Check that again. I thought there was 2 other ones.
Oh, there was 2 other orders?
2017 and 2015.
Oh, so that guy was
could have been
wrong.
the first one from that company, potentially.
Ah, that makes sense. So maybe it was for this desalination equipment.
Maybe.
But also, that's a lot of sulfuric acid. You know, if I needed 5 gallons for my desalination equipment, but
right,
239 gallons or whatever it is to burn kids. Yeah. To get rid of bodies.
Well, it's kind of hard to think of any other use for acid, just in general. Right?
Immediately,
So
you think.
Immediately.
Yeah. The other orders, were they that large?
Let me check.
Because here's the other thing. I mean, how long has it been killing people? How long have they been boiling bodies to get rid of them? I mean, if you do have, for lack of better words, let's call it a service, where you allow rich people from foreign governments or whatever, you set it up. I can give you whatever you want.
Right.
Like what I want to do is I want Booker. Like I want a and I want to, get rid of the body. Like I want to do that. Like, can you do that? There was one where this one guy is saying to him, "Thank you for the Twitter video." It's literally a part of an email. The actual quote, "Thank you for the," like, enjoyed the video.
It's so gross. Like,
and they think they've identified that guy.
And it raises an important question about whether these documents are truly uncovering something much larger, or if online discussions are moving ahead of what the evidence can actually support. So what do you think about all of this? And where do you stand on these claims? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you are interested in more deep dives into powerful figures, hidden controversies, and stories that often go unnoticed by the mainstream, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming upload.